Cain and Abel were brothers, bound by blood and shared experiences. They lived with their parents in a modest home surrounded by nature's bounty. Cain, the elder, worked the land with dedication, turning the soil and planting seeds. Abel, the younger, tended the flocks with care, guiding the sheep through green pastures. Life was simple, their days filled with sun and toil, each brother finding purpose in his own way. They shared meals, stories, and laughter around the fire, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Though different in their ways, a bond of brotherhood held them together, a connection that seemed unbreakable.
I find joy in the feel of earth in my hands, the satisfaction of a harvest well earned.
And I delight in the soft bleating of my sheep, the peace of open pastures, and the gentle rhythm of their lives.
They were different, yet their lives intertwined like the threads of a well-woven cloth, each complementing the other. Each evening, under the vast sky, they returned home, their hearts full of contentment and dreams for the future. Little did they know, a storm of envy was brewing, threatening to shatter their peaceful existence and test the strength of their bond. One day, they brought offerings to God. Each brother hoped to gain favor and blessings. Cain offered the fruits of his labor, his brow damp with sweat. He had toiled under the sun, nurturing the earth to produce his offering. Abel offered the firstborn of his flock, his heart filled with devotion. His offering was pure and came from a place of deep reverence. God favored Abel's offering.
Why does he favor Abel's offering over mine? Cain's voice trembled with confusion and frustration.
Cain felt a pang of jealousy. It was a sharp, bitter feeling that he couldn't shake off. It gnawed at him, growing with each passing day. The more he thought about it, the more it consumed him. He saw his brother's success and his own seemed small. The achievements he once took pride in now felt insignificant. He felt inadequate, his heart heavy with resentment. The weight of his envy was a constant burden. The joy he once found in his work turned bitter. Tasks that once brought him satisfaction now felt like a chore. The laughter they once shared now stuck in his throat. Memories of happier times only deepened his sorrow. The bond between them, once strong and unyielding, began to fray at the edges. Their relationship, once a source of strength, was now strained. The seeds of envy had been sown. They took root in Cain's heart, growing into a tangled web of bitterness and spite. Blinded by his rage, Cain lured his brother to the fields. He spoke with honeyed words, masking the darkness in his heart.
Come, Abel, let us go to the fields.
Abel, unsuspecting, followed. In the stillness of the fields, violence erupted. Cain struck his brother down, the earth staining crimson with Abel's blood. The world seemed to hold its breath. The birds stopped singing, the wind ceased its whisper. A chilling silence descended, heavy with the weight of what had transpired.
What have I done?
Cain stood frozen, the magnitude of his actions crashing down upon him. He had become a monster, his envy transforming him into something dark and terrible. Cain fled, the weight of his sin heavy on his soul. He could feel the eyes of the world upon him, judging, condemning. Every step he took was a reminder of the irreversible act he had committed, a stain on his very being.
I was marked, my face etched with the memory of my crime. The mark was not just on my skin, but deep within my soul. It was a brand that told the world of my guilt, a scar that would never heal.
The world seemed to shrink, every shadow whispering accusations. The voices of the past echoed in my mind, relentless and unforgiving. There was no escape from the judgment that followed me everywhere. He was alone, consumed by guilt and regret. The darkness of his solitude was a mirror to the darkness within him. Every moment was a battle against the overwhelming tide of remorse that threatened to drown him. The laughter, the shared stories, the bond of brotherhood, all gone. The memories of happier times were now tainted by the knowledge of what he had done. The joy of the past was overshadowed by the sorrow of the present, replaced by an unbearable emptiness. The void within him was vast and unending, a constant reminder of the life he had destroyed. The silence of his isolation was deafening, a testament to his eternal punishment.
I found Cain, lost and broken. His spirit was shattered, his will to live diminished. The once proud man was now a shadow of his former self, consumed by the weight of his actions. I did not take vengeance, but punishment was given. It was not my place to exact revenge, but justice had to be served. The consequences of his actions were inevitable, a necessary retribution for the crime he had committed.
Cain would forever carry the mark of his sin, a constant reminder of the terrible deed he had committed. The mark was a symbol of his guilt, a visible sign of the darkness within him. He was cast out, destined to wander the earth, forever haunted by the ghost of his brother. The specter of his past would follow him wherever he went, a relentless reminder of his unforgivable act. His punishment, a constant echo of his crime, a heavy burden on his soul. The weight of his guilt was a chain that bound him, a perpetual torment that he could never escape. The story of Cain and Abel is a tragedy. It teaches us about the danger of jealousy and the devastating consequences of anger. It reminds us that love and forgiveness are far more powerful than hate. We must learn from Cain's mistake. We must strive to celebrate each other's victories and offer support in times of failure. We must nurture love, not envy, in our hearts. Let us remember that every action has a consequence. We have the power to choose love over hate, forgiveness over vengeance. Let us build a world where the tragedy of Cain and Abel is never repeated. Please subscribe and like my YouTube channel for more content.